Start on you.
Hello. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to the fourth episode of Respect for Roots. This episode is a special one. Today, I'm joined by Kevin, Kofi, and Al Dente to celebrate the release of their new EP, Club Mutations. Now, before we go on, I will explain what I do. My name is Djahid, and I'm also a resident at GIMIC. I do the podcast Respect the Roots, where I talk about different nightlife communities and genres, how they are, what their origins are, how people play them, how people are part of these communities. And for this episode, we are combining our forces to talk about the new EP. And before we go on, I will let the speakers introduce themselves. So, go.
Hi, thanks. Welcome as well. I am Al Dente. I'm not very used to doing this, so it might be shitty. I apologize in advance. We started the EP, the process, I think 2 years ago, so we're happy to be here, finally present the piece. Happy to have Djahid with us to ask us some questions. I'm from Ghent. I'm gonna pass the mic to Kevin.
Yes, I'm Kevin Kofi from Antwerp City, DJ producer, and like he and like he already said, yeah, we've been working on it for like 2 years, and yeah, we're happy it's out now. So we're also happy to share like the process, how we got to the EP, etc. So yeah, we're very excited. Let's go.
Okay, great. So let's dive in. Now, the first thing that I wanted to ask is the name Club Mutations. You talk about the DNA of club music. First, I want to hear what do you guys define as the DNA in this context?
For me, it was more like all the influences we had from being clubbers. I started as a DJ almost 10 years ago. Before that, I was a dancer. So within the dance community, clubbing is also a big part of it. So I did house dance, I did hip hop, and within those styles, like you also have the fundamentals of clubbing. And yeah, throughout the years, I got a lot of inspiration of different kind of music, different kinds of styles.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think the name Club Mutations is not only the EP, but also represents like me as a person, because I feel like I'm also a club mutation because of all the influences I had throughout the years. So yeah.
For me, it's a bit similar. I've always had like a very musical upbringing, although my parents don't play any instruments at all. But I've always had like a broad interest in electronic music from all over the place, having records from, I don't know, Latin America to Germany, whatever, from my parents, listening to them, and never ever really making a choice of what genres I'm gonna play as a DJ later in my life. So I think that's where we kind of found each other. That we're kind of always genre maxing when DJing. And that's also where like the EP came in, where we couldn't really lay a finger on how it was supposed to sound, or how it was gonna sound, or how it should sound. So we just let it mutate in the studio, and that's how Club Mutations came to be.
Okay, nice. Now, as you said, you've been working on this EP for 2 years. But when was the specific time that you really knew that this concept was going to be the main concept for the EP?
We weren't really working on the EP for 2 years exactly. We were just making music together for 2 years, but not really having a plan, just making cool shit in the studio. And then after a while, certain tracks started to fit nicely together, and then we were like, this should be a piece, a musical piece. A lot of genres flowing into other things. Getting inspiration from a track that we just made, just to create something new, and let it have its way. I think that's how it kind of came to be, and like in the process of 2 years, the EP kind of came together naturally. So that's kind of how it happens.
Okay, nice.
I also think we started with the track Bobo Rhythm, and that was like the first track we started with, and we were like, okay, should we drop a single or should we work together on some more music? And I had a residency at Trix, so I said, yeah, let's go to the studio. Mm-hmm. We made some things made the cut, some things didn't make the cut, and then we were like, okay, maybe we should just drop a small project together, then we can like really build what we're doing around this instead of just releasing one thing. And then yeah, Club Mutation started, and then we had like building one track, and then within that track actually another track was also made, and it was like, okay, maybe we can split this into two tracks and then build further and further. So I think we started with Bobo Rhythm, and then everything was like an extension of what we created from that time.
Okay, nice. Now, Club Mutations has a lot of different inspirations, a lot of different genres, and I want to go a bit deeper into that. Like, what are the specific genres or communities that you really took inspiration from to make this EP?
For me, I think it was like really clubbing as a whole at first, but I think because we're DJs, we're like not always pinpointed at one genre, and we love different genres. It was like, okay, this feels very natural to do, so let's take the reggaeton snare is almost in every track that we made. So it was like, okay, we see that now everybody loves the 4/4 fast music, but for us we like to have more percussion inside of it, so it made more sense to like put in more rhythm than just boom 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 boom, and you have a track. So we were like, testing some things out. Some things worked, some things didn't work. So yeah, it went very natural, I think, without any we didn't were like, okay, we have to take this from baile funk, or we have to take this from this genre. It was more like, okay, we have this flow, and it's nice and it sounds like this because we heard it at this festival, or we were at this party, and we were like very into it.
Yeah, I think we're both a bit like the meme, like the, how'd you say it? We're too hip hop for the techno kids, too techno for the hip hop kids. So we're always like somewhere in between, and we draw a lot of inspiration from a lot of scenes just because of genuine interest and people we know. So you can hear like a lot of UK influence, but like what even is UK influence, because UK music has a lot of, I mean, Jamaican, Caribbean influences as well, that you can also hear again a little bit in like more Latin club music that is still different from UK club music, but has a similar feeling sometimes when it comes to percussion, to other stuff. So it all kind of grew naturally because of just interests or just inspiration from artists we look up to. So it kind of came together naturally. From different scenes, going to different kind of parties, meeting different types of people, just seeing how they work, how they have their own flow. A lot of scenes have producers that kind of break the rules in their own way when it comes to percussion or bass or synths. So we just kind of look around us and let sounds come to us instead of just trying to look for certain things we can
Specific
take.
things, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, nice. I was thinking, are there any specific clubs, specific genres or experiences that really directly impacted the origin of this album? Could you think of like, it could be a genre, could be an artist, could be a community, could be a collective?
Did we have like, I don't know if we had a party which we went to and then made a song afterwards? I don't know.
No, I don't think it's specifically one party, but yeah, we draw a lot of inspiration from people like, and anyone ID like Mina from the UK, like people like Miss J. They also like take elements from different genres and sprinkle some of their own on it. So I think like a Lente Cabinet, a Horst, a Dekmantel, like at those festivals you really see like people pushing forward different sounds, and I think that's something we also like to do without really claiming it. For us it's like the natural feeling is the most important thing, and I think that's what's made the EP.
Yeah, EP. Okay, nice. Now I want to go a bit deeper into the genres that you can find in the EP. What was the thought process behind choosing the genres? Like, are there any sounds that unexpectedly took the center? Something new that you discovered during the creation of this album?
I have like a few examples, I think. It wasn't necessarily like pick and choose and then work from there, but more like we're inside the process, having a certain sound. For example, the Bobo rhythm, which has a really like Nilly's trance-ish synth, which has a crazy pattern that changes a lot. But we also kind of hear the same thing in baile funk, for example, with a lot of crazy melodies, how they resolve, how they just, I don't know, do crazy things. And out of that part, we kind of had a switch inside the track, I think, in the middle, where out of a sudden you have like a crazy baile drop. So that was kind of our way of adding those sounds, but it wasn't necessarily like we're gonna do a bubbling track with a baile funk part in it because it fits, but it just kind of came naturally. Like, let's try this. It kind of fits. It reminds me of that baile funk song with like that switch up. Might fit here as well. We can try that. Sounds good. Doesn't sound good. Next, but it's not that we kind of had a drawing board with a plan of these are the genres. We're gonna mix those.
Came more naturally.
Kind of like we said, came naturally.
Okay. Perfect. Now, the main reason why I'm here, and what I like talking about the most, is really honoring these specific communities or genres. Now, when you take parts of a community or of a genre, it's always very important to honor these communities, to respectfully take part of these without really taking something, without really knowing what it means, acknowledging their presence and making sure they are respected when you do it. So I really want to ask, how do you view this process? How did you think like, okay, we want to take something that's mainly seen in baile funk, but how do you do it in a way that is really respectful to that community? Because of course, for us, baile funk is a genre. It's a party that you can go to. It's music, but for those people, it means more. So how do you, as an artist, really reflect about that and make sure that you do it in a way that respects them and also manages to help you?
Yeah, that's a great question. For us, it wasn't like picking sounds from a scene or a certain culture and doing something of our own with it, but kind of just having things flow towards ours and kind of revisit it and give it back in a certain way to the dance community. Yeah. For example, when we were working on Rompe Colchon with Eli Angel, we started the track without her. We had a cool demo, but it was just missing something. It was flowing towards Latin electronic club music, but it wasn't feeling exactly right. We tested some things with an a cappella, but it wasn't really that. So it kind of really had to be a Latin track. So then we started just listening to artists we both like, that were kind of on our radar, like Eli. And then she took the track, added like her own part to it, and really took another turn and became like really a fusion of, I don't know how to say it, like a hybrid of European, Latin, other stuff. But it's cool that she's like included in the track because now it really came together and not became a copy of a Latin club banger, but someone who's really part of a queer community in Latin America and Venezuela, tours a lot. So it kind of makes sense that you work with someone from there if you want something to sound like something from there. So I think that's kind of an answer.
Yeah, I think it also really shows when you ask people from a specific community to partake, it also shows respect. So when you reach out to them and ask them to take part in the track, it also shows that you respect them and respect the community. So I think it's a nice way to work. So that's a nice answer.
Yeah, and if you really want to make a good track, it's just important to do your homework, you know? You can't just listen and try to recreate something. I think in Dutch we'd call it kitsch. It would just be a knockoff, you know?
True.
Yes, I totally agree. I think also Rompe Colchon is a perfect example because, like you said, we started off with a sample of Splice, and yeah, it did feel good. Also because the Splice sample, everybody uses it, but also because you want to make like an ode to what you're making, and it sounded more Latin, not because we wanted to make a Latin track. we didn't choose to make a Latin track, but it just suddenly sounded a little bit more like Latin.
That, yeah.
And as a DJ, you're in contact with a lot of international DJs as well. So you talk a lot, you share a lot of music together. So I think that part makes the connection very, very strong. So for example, Ellie didn't even think twice to join us on this track. It's the same for Anyone ID. I think when it fits, an artist will say yes. But if it doesn't fit and the artist sees it, yeah, then I think it's a little more difficult.
Okay, nice. Now, speaking of the tracks, now it's time for you guys to take the forefront and present the tracks to the public and talk a bit more about the process of making them, the collaborations, and how it all came by.
Yes, I think we should start with Rompe Colchon. Yeah, Rompe Colchon is a track we made with Eli Angel from Venezuela. We used the splice sample at first, but it was shitty. And after we discovered other songs with the same splice sample, we were like, yeah, it's super shitty. so we're happy Ellie came on the song. In the song, she's singing about sitting on the beach, smoking some weed, drinking some rum, and just enjoying the sun. So yeah, the first track we're gonna let you guys hear is, I think, the first version. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So yeah.
Let's go.
So this is like the first version, the very first demo. Gonna sound shitty as fuck, but and you can hear the random vocal. We wanted to just see how it went. So that was like a very first. Hoe kunnen we dat horen? Is dat nog aan?
Ik denk het wel.
That was like a first version with like the melody doesn't even resolve properly. Oh. Can you guys hear me? Okay. And then Ellie came on the track. We finished the melody, changed the bass, changed everything, and then like everything came together and it just sounded right.
So this was the first track with Eli Angel. Now we're gonna check Bobo Rhythm. It's a mix of like some very hard bubbling snares with like a weird sound. This was the first track of the EP. We tried some different things. Some things worked out, some things didn't. And then Al Dente was trying something with his synthesizer, and accidentally he came onto this weirdish melody, and we both thought it was cool, so we finished the track with the weird sound. So yeah, enjoy. Yes. So that was Bobo Rhythm. I think now it's time for what you know about this. On the EP, it's called Y-Cat. Y-Cat is a little bit cooler, but it means what you know about this. Fun fact of this track is also I was doubting to put it on the EP because I don't think it's something I would play myself, but I made it, so yeah. And and also a lot of people liked the song. So what we saw when we were sending out the promo, a lot of people were like having very good thoughts about it. But it was like Y-Cat also had a lot of favorite tracks by some people. So it was like, okay, nice. So this EP is good for these type of people. Some people like this song, some people like this. So with this EP, we really saw that the whole EP is not for one person, but maybe you like one track, this person likes one track, and this person likes one track. And even in some tracks, some people like the end or the beginning. So some DJs are now also free to like choose within the track what part they play, and you can be from a different scene but still play the songs we made in this album EP. So that's very nice.
I think what Kevin is trying to say is that even though there are scenes or genres of music of which the parties we don't really play or go to, there's still DJs liking certain tracks we made or playing them, even though we wouldn't even be on the same lineup as them. So that's kind of cool how it mutates and it brings people together in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was. oh, So yeah, this was the third track. The last track is "Turn It Up," featuring Anyone ID. Um, I think this is one of my favorite tracks of the EP. It is a lot of cool synths. That's why we also thought that Anyone ID was a good addition to the track, because initially also we were doubting to add two people on our EP, because yeah, it's only 4 tracks, 2 extra people. Sometimes you really want to have an EP that's just the two of you. But yeah, Anyone ID was such a good addition to the song. He really brought it to the next level. He has a lot of knowledge of music as well, and sound-wise, he's also somebody we look up to. So yeah, it was a match made in heaven.
A perfect
so
match.
Yeah.
Also, like the cool thing with Anyone ID, Antoine, is that we met in Ghent because he played at the party we organized. So we met like really organically. We liked each other's sounds, and when we were making the track, we were constantly like, because just of the sound, thinking of him. So he like came in naturally, changed a bit of the melody structure, kind of resolved the melody in a better way, changed some synths, some regular stuff, and like took it to the next level. And like a cool fact is that Antoine Anyone ID comes from the hardcore gabber scene, which you can kind of hear a little bit in the track in the second drop. It's like a bit of a distorted bass inside. So he kind of gave it new life and finished it. So it's also my favorite track of the EP. Kind of has the most, I don't know, feeling inside of it.
All right. Thank you for sharing all the 4 tracks. Now, before we go on, I'm curious to know, are there any other artists that you wanted to work with on this EP or maybe want to work with in the future?
Initially, we didn't think about any artists to like put on this EP, because, like I said, it was only 4 tracks, so it would be a little bit weird to like have a EP with all features. But yeah, I think there's are a lot of artists we would work with. So we're also thinking about like making an extended version with remixes of our tracks. But yeah, let's see who's open for the idea. So if you're hearing this and you want to make a remix, let us know, and then we can make like a club mutation of the club mutations. So yeah, we like to see how interesting it can be to like take it to other genres or other communities, or because we have our part, but let's say somebody that makes batida, what that person would do with it, or maybe a producer that does only baile funk takes turn it up and makes it into a baile funk track, or maybe he also fusions it into a whole different sound. So we're actually very curious what people also can do with our stuff, and for us it doesn't matter who it is, but the intention is very important.
The intention behind it,
yeah.
I don't know. It would be hard to pick like some favorite artist that would be cool to have a remix from or just work with. But I think it would be sick to have like maybe a dubstep version of a track, like artists like Sicaria, she changed her name to Lunur. She's like one of my favorite artists. I think we both look up to artists like Surusinghe, artists which have like their own sound and draw inspiration from multiple scenes. Just having to see what they would do with it, just having it flow naturally like we had the process, seeing them have the same process would be sick. I think it would be the coolest if we would have artists remix the tracks or do some collabs with artists that really come from a way different scene, like a hardcore scene, for example, a jungle or drum and bass remix, something that just challenges the status quo of genres.
Okay, nice. Now the next part, we're going to dive deeper into the name of the EP and the fact that it's dubbed the DNA of club music. Now, club culture is deeply tied into communities, not one specific one, but multiple ones. And these communities really thrive in the club, in the scene. So it's important to know, for me and for everybody that listens, how important was it to celebrate this scene, the club in general?
Yeah, for us it was really about just celebrating club music in our way, just no rules, not following any rules, just letting things, I think we said it 100 times, flow naturally. But also clubbing also comes with like no rules, like real club culture comes from not leisure class people with money who just have the time to rave, but people who really need to rave, who need to express themselves in their own way, and they don't follow any rules as well. So why should we, when we make the music for those places or those communities? So that's like a cool part of the process that we kind of celebrate together.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I started with dancing, but before that, I think a lot of us like did jump style in the club. Then we went to the hip hop era, so we saw everything like evolve as well. And I think every time we take something with us, like some inspiration.
Yeah, we take parts from the different scenes and combine them.
The same like you said about any one ID, what kind of community he came of, like the same for us. Like we used to listen to this and then it evolved, but we take little steps. So I think like mixing and matching all those different types is nice. And like the community thing, it's like dope that you guys don't see it, but there are a lot of people in front of us, and some of them are also DJs or dancers or whatever, but they're also like going to the club or a part of a community and like supporting each other. So I think with doing this, making music, but also inviting people and doing things together, that it fits like a whole.
Okay, great. Now, again, dubbing it the DNA of club music comes with some type of responsibility, because you're representing a big scene, of course. And I want to know, during the making of the EP, did you feel this responsibility? The way you viewed the project, the way you worked with it, the way you worked with other people, did it come with some type of responsibility that you really wanted to represent?
I think when you're making the music, you're not really thinking about anything else aside from the sounds or what you're trying to make. But like in the process of finding a way how to present it to the people, that's when like the thought process comes in about how you're gonna do it in a good way, in a correct way, in a responsible way, a respectful way towards people. That's like the same reason why we're here. Is also because we just don't want to just put it out and having people stream or buy the music, but we want to talk about it, talk to the people about the music, even though we're not really even used to doing that. But we've kind of feel a responsibility to create a certain platform, the same thing that GIMIC here is doing. Everyone can just walk in and talk to each other about the music, the communities they're from, talk about the communities they're interested in, talk with other artists, other musicians, or people who are just regular clubbers, you know, from all walks of life. And that's like a cool thing. That's why we kind of came here too. So I think in that process, the responsibility really comes in. But when it comes to making the music, we're really just in our cave making stuff.
Yes. Also, what I want to add is like, I think the title of the EP is a difficult choice to make. So we're like, really thinking about what is the title, how can we make clear what the EP is about, and I know the struggle of being a DJ. Like you love a lot of different styles, but you can't pinpoint which genre you play as a DJ. So people ask what type of DJ are you? But it's like very hard to pinpoint, and then people say global club music, underground bass, blah blah blah. But then Al Dente came with Club Mutation, and we were like, actually that is what we did with the project. So and it fits like naturally, like everything now. So that's beautiful that we came up with this name. And I think with the name we can like go into different directions in different times, and always adapt on what type of person we are at that moment as an artist.
Okay, nice. And how did it feel to reshape the sounds that you took and make them your own?
I don't think we really pushed anything. It was like just, hey, it feels nice. Okay, let's use it. It doesn't feel nice. And also like, we think a lot about, should we put something out, yes or no? And we were like, hey, we make something, let's just put it out and let's see. If you don't like it, you like it. And then just see and we just hope that people like it. And then we're also motivated in, keep on doing this type of things, and like you said, like no rules and just do your thing.
It's like we talked about earlier. There's just like no rules, so we just did what felt right at the moment. I don't want to make a huge thing about like our tracks as if it were to be a statement or something. It was just something that felt right to us, like having no rules, and also having like the concept of club mutations also keeps us from claiming genres, claiming communities, claiming sounds, but just maybe partaking a little bit, or just adding something, or just taking something, doing something with it, and just throw it back into the scene, instead of just saying, oh, we are now Latin club artists, or we are now UKG artists. No, we're just two guys from Belgium trying to make cool stuff.
Okay, nice. Now we're almost at the end of this interview. Now we're going to focus on the future. First of all, what should listeners take away from this EP?
I think the main thing is, just like we said, that there's like no rules. You just should go to whatever party you feel like. Maybe just get to know communities you like. Get to know people from different walks of life, from different types of sounds, different types of musicians. Not staying in your own lane, as long as you're just a respectful human being. You know, you can walk in any place and meet people, learn from each other. I think that's like the cool thing, is that the sounds are like the sounds are like an extension of just a mentality in dance music, instead of just boxes.
And also like, I hope people get curious into new genres or just other styles. Like if you get it on Spotify, like just let the algorithm take you away and listen to the tracks that are following. The same on SoundCloud. If you listen to the track, go to related tracks, and then you will like really get a dive into like what genres there are besides what we did. And that's it.
All right. And are there any more collaborations coming between you two?
No, man. No, I don't know. I don't know. For now, it's just focus on this one. Maybe see if people want to make some remixes of our tracks, and give it a new life in a few months. And then let's see what the future brings. I don't think we're not going to work together anymore. But yeah, just see, and if everything, yeah, I don't know, probably yes.
Yeah, I'm just tired of Kevin. No. We still have a lot of stuff laying around, but there's not really a plan with it. So
No.
I think we're gonna have to open our hard drive some day in the future when this thing might take off. Maybe we'll do like I don't know, a sequel.
Mhm. And if there would be a sequel, are there any directions or sounds that you want to explore in the future?
I think we would just do the same thing, let it flow organically, and I think automatically it would sound way different than what we have now. Like in 2 years, we're gonna be completely different people listening to completely different stuff probably, and I think our output will be way different too. So I think that's also like an exciting thing that you can't really predict how it's gonna be. So we don't have a plan when it comes to the sound of it.
Yeah, actually the same. Like we didn't really push this. Like we have to do something now, and I think we should keep this workflow like it is. Like keep on searching each other, making things together, sharing music, going to the same events and all these type of things. And then yeah, if there's time and we want to make a new club Mutations, I think there's time for it. But I think let this one breathe out first, and see maybe in 2 years. So yeah.
Okay, great. Now we're at the end of the podcast. The final question that I have is for both of you. What's next in your career?
Oh shit.
Big question. Big question.
Like the next big thing, or literally the next thing?
It's whatever you want.
I don't know. I don't really have a plan. I think it's really hard to, I don't know, just to even name what is gonna be in general the next thing in dance music. I think in the past it was easier to say. We had like genres really being prominent on the forefront, and you could say like in 2 years this is gonna be huge. But now, I don't know, things are changing so fast. We had a trance hype that lasted a year. Now that's done. Before that we had a hard techno hype that lasted 2 years. Now that's done. That wasn't really a scene on itself. It's the same thing with the trance scene. We don't really have the subcultures anymore the way we have to. They're still kind of there, but it's like really, really niche. So it's kind of hard to say in general. So I don't really have a plan. But we have some cool stuff coming up. I think next week, Thursday, we're playing a Rinse together to present the EP in Paris. We're having Studio Brussels tomorrow to present the EP on Uns. So we got a lot of cool stuff for the EP coming up. I think that's like the most exciting thing I can tell you guys for the future. I don't know.
No, that's it. Yeah, Paris next week and Studio tomorrow.
Okay, great. This is we're at the end of the
Okay.
first part of the EP release. Thank you both so much for the
Thank
interview.
you.
You're welcome. And thank you all for listening. In a couple of minutes, LOV will take over for a set.
Yes, perfect. Let's go.
And special thanks to Djahid and the Respect the Roots podcast. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming.
Yes, thanks for coming, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.